Hi everyone, today we are talking about deep agents. So everyone knows the problem. You build an agent for a complex task, but after 10 steps the context is full, the agent loses its track or it gets stuck in a loop. But the solution isn't a better model, it's a better architecture. We need hierarchy. Today we are looking at the DeepAgents framework, which is built on top of LangGraph. But we are not only using it, that would be too simple, we are going to look directly into the source code of the framework. I'm going to show you exactly how the orchestrator is built, how the middleware works and how state isolation is technically implemented in subagents. At the end, we'll run a script to make these internal processes visible right in the terminal. Okay, let's start with the core, the graph.py. Normally you would just import the function, create a deep agent. But what is actually happening inside? So this is a factory function. Unlike the standard React agent, this builds an opinionated stack. So the agent doesn't just get a model, it gets a fixed list of middleware. So the to-do list middleware is for planning. The file system middleware is for file operations. And most importantly, the sub-agent middleware. So by default, the agent is configured as a project manager. It gets tools to manage its own state before it even calls an LLM for the first time. But now let's go deeper. We are looking into the middleware /subagents.py. This is the code that enables the hierarchy. The middleware injects the task tool, allowing the orchestrator to start a sub-process. And here is a crucial technical detail, context isolation. So look at these lines. When the orchestrator calls a sub-agent, for example a data analysis agent, we do not pass the entire chat history. We filter out messages and to-dos. The sub-agent starts a completely new LangGraph run with an empty state, taking only the instruction as input. This is why a deep agent runs stable. The sub-agent works in a sandbox. When it's done, it only returns the result. And the entire intermediate state of the sub-agent is discarded. But how do we configure a sub-agent or multiple sub-agents? In our example, in the main.py, we define a specialist, for instance, a mathematics expert. We build a standard graph and the framework registers this graph statically at runtime. At runtime, the orchestrator only knows this is an expert about math. And then it dynamically decides, based on the user query, whether it needs this expert or if it can solve the problem itself. To see exactly what is happening, I did something that you actually shouldn't do. But I inserted a few print statements to make it easier for you to understand. So we've got bracket setup, this is when the graph is compiled. Then we've got brackets planning, when the to-do middleware updates the state. And we also got delegation in brackets, when the sub-agent middleware cleans the context and starts a sub-process. Okay, we are now at the live section part of this video, and as you can see, the first example is very easy. So we've got the question, what is the capital of France? Answer only with the city name. So we would expect that the agent or the deep agent does not require planning to answer that. So it will not make use of its planning tool. So at the end, we can just comment in and out the examples. So if you run python main.py, then we should see the setup of the agent and the user query. And below that is the agent response. So as you can see, no tool was used. Okay, let's switch to a little bit more complex example, which definitely requires planning because it makes use of multiple steps. So here the query is, please follow the strict process using your to-do list. Define 3 distinct target personas for a brand. So we wanted to develop a new brand called Hyperstep. And it should select one persona, so out of the 3, to write a raw angry rant from the perspective why current shoes suck. Then analyze the rant and extract 3 key pain points. So based on the pain points, it should write a positive, uplifting marketing slogan for Hyperstep. So to answer 4, it has to analyze 3. For 3, it has to analyze 2. And for 2, it has to analyze 1. So this is a task that definitely should require planning. So if we run that, then again we can see the setup. And here we are at the planning step. So that is the to-do list. It has a content. And here we can see the status of the to-do in progress. Then next is completed. So here we are at the end. We can see the agent response, or at least a part of it. And we can see that the to-do list was updated every step the agent worked. So first the status is pending when it cannot work on the slogan, because it requires that information from the previous step. And after that step is completed, so here is still in progress, and after that it's completed, and now that step is in progress. So at the end, every step is completed and the final answer is generated. So this is how the deep agent works with a to-do list. But actually, this agent is not yet really a deep agent. It's just an agent with a middleware, but it does not have access to other agents. So now we have a look at the third example. So in the third example, we first create a separate agent. Here you are an eccentric math professor. Start every sentence with Eureka. And then we compile that agent and provide that agent as sub-agent to our project manager agent. And we just prompt ask for help if required. Explain briefly why 1 + 1 is 2. Very simple question, but hopefully it will still make use of our mathematics expert. So in this case, we've got our deep agent with our math sub-agent. So let's try that again. And we will see how the to-do list and the sub-agent will interact with each other. Okay, so we can clearly see that the agent did not make use of its sub-agent. And this is because the answer is just too simple. And ask help if required. In this case, the agent decided, yeah, for 1 + 1, even as a project manager, I don't need that help. So to enforce this, we have to update our prompt. So normally a deep agent requires a little bit more prompt engineering. So if you really want to use the sub-agent more often, then you can use a prompt like this. So to enforce the use of a to-do list and also the use of a sub-agent, we could use something like this. So you must never answer user questions directly from your own knowledge. So this is very restrictive and also not really recommended. But yeah, I want to demonstrate that prompt engineering might help to fix this problem. So we can also say that it should always make use of the to-do list. So in this case, of the right to-dos tool. So even for a very simple question. So let's try that out. And now we should probably see that it makes use of the to-do list and also use of the sub-agent. Here we can see the to-do list is created and the delegation was done. So the orchestrator is spawning a sub-agent, our math professor. And now the math professor is instructed to justify why 1 + 1 is 2. Delegation is done. The keys were removed, so it does not get the complete history. And then the agent starts execution. After that, the agent finished its task and returns the result to the orchestrator. So if you struggle like me in this example that your deep agent does not make use of its tool, then play a little bit around with your prompt and it should work. So that's it for this video. If you've got any questions, then please write them in the comment section of this video and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.